What's up guys, welcome back to FishOfHex. My name is Travis. In this video I'm going to show you step by step how I built a Skimmer Swabbie using my Bubble Magus Curve 7 protein skimmer located on the frag tank. Now in this video I'm going to show you step by step everything that I used, the equipment, how it was set up, and I'm also going to give you a 1-month review on this just so you guys know that it actually works. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright, let's go over some of the materials and tools that you'll need for the build. I went ahead and picked up a 5 revolutions per minute motor off of eBay for under $10, and that's really where the majority of the money for this build came from. Everything else I had laying around here in the fish room. I used a 1 milliliter syringe, a piece of my Julian's Thing coral feeder, which I don't know if I should even mention that. Also some mesh left over from an algae scrubber build and some thin acrylic. I put it all together with super glue, so it's pretty simple. Tools that will be beneficial for you would be some scissors, a Dremel tool. Definitely, my Dremel tool is broken, so I went ahead and used a razor blade knife, which made it look pretty crappy, but it still works, so that's pretty much all that matters. And a little mini torch that I had to kind of heat up some of the plastic to mold it over the motor part there. But other than that, let's go ahead and start the build. Alright, so the first thing I did is use the torch to heat up the 1 milliliter syringe so I could slide it over the end of my motor there. Now once it was in place, I just took it off, put some super glue on it, and then slid it back in place to make sure it doesn't fall off. Now my plan is to go ahead and take the plastic Julian's Thing and then have it slide over this syringe, holding it in place, allowing it to spin via the motor. Alright, the next thing I did is cut a hole through the top of the skimmer cup, just big enough to fit the syringe we added to the motor previously. Now you don't want it too loose where water gets up into the motor section, but you also don't want it too tight where it's going to prevent it from spinning freely. Now after that was done, I went ahead and cut the syringe down just big enough so I could slide the Julian's Thing in place, and then I also went ahead and super glued the motor to the top of the skimmer cup. Alright, the next thing I did is use my torch to heat up the end of the Julian's Thing and then slid that over that 1 milliliter syringe. I also went ahead and used some super glue to hold it in place, again making sure it wasn't too tight and it could spin freely. After that I just cut it to size just to the bottom of the neck of the skimmer cup and then started working on the acrylic for the Swabbie part. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the Swabbie portion of the build. Now my thought process was to go ahead and use a piece of acrylic and then cut holes in the side of the Julian's Thing. That's why I went with that, because it was hollow and it would be easier to cut. And then go ahead and slide the acrylic through them, glue them in place, and then use the mesh as the cleaning portion, which I would attach to the end of those pieces of acrylic, and that's what would clean the inside of the skimmer cup. Now it is definitely not pretty. I really wish my Dremel tool worked during this, so I had to use the razor blade instead, so they're a little crooked, but a little bit of super glue, a little bit of twisting and bending, and it worked out just fine. Alright, well here is the finished project. I know it's not pretty, but trust me, it does work. Now the only thing I would do differently is go ahead and extend the mesh out just a little bit more so it has a tighter fit inside the cup, but other than that, I wouldn't change anything. Now we're going to go ahead and get this thing over to the frag system. I'll show you guys how I set up the timer in the Apex real quick, and then we'll go ahead and do the 1-month review. Alright, when it comes to installing your Skimmer Swabbie, you need to make sure you have enough height on your skimmer so that you can drain that excess skimmate down into a container. Now with mine, I'm just kind of on the edge of it not being high enough, and I didn't want to mess with anything just yet. I wanted to wait and see if it worked, and luckily enough it worked, and if it didn't, I would go ahead and kind of raise up the skimmer via egg crate, and then it would drain perfectly fine from there. Now the next thing I did is I went ahead and I added the AC to DC adapter to the motor and attached that to my Neptune Apex EVA bar. So let's go ahead and get into the Apex real quick, and I'll show you the programming I have for that to turn it on and off throughout the day. Alright, now that we're in the Apex, let me show you how to set this up so it turns on and off via timer. Now the first thing you want to do is locate your Skimmer Swabbie on your EB8 bar. Here I have mine on 7-3, and then here is the programming. Now of course I have it set to fallback off, set to off, and then here is the virtual outlet. Alright, I'll show you guys that here in a second as well, but it's if output Swabbie timer is on, then on. Now let's go ahead and look at that virtual outlet. Now down here I have that outlet itself, and here is the programming in it. Now of course it's set to off, and then every 180 minutes it's going to kick on this outlet for 1 minute and then turn back off. So you guys can go ahead and program or copy this programming if you want. If you want it to be on for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, just change this number here and you'd be good to go. Of course, name it Swabbie timer so you can go ahead and put that in your coding for your original EB8 bar outlet. Okay? So I hope that makes sense, guys. If you have any questions about virtual outlets, let me know. I've done a ton of videos on it, so I didn't think I needed to go through and do it again. Other than that, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the 1-month review. All right, well, here is the skimmer cup 1 month later. As you guys can see, it's relatively dirty, but believe it or not, the inside of the neck is pretty clean. Now, it would be cleaner if I went ahead again and extended that mesh out a little bit farther, giving a tighter fit inside the neck. But as is, it definitely works. And as you guys can see, there's 1 month worth of skimmate, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. Now, if you guys like hands-on DIY projects, do this project. You're going to be out $10 if it doesn't work for you, because that's what you spend on the motor. And yeah, look at what you have laying around the house, make some adjustments, and give it a shot. You're not going to lose anything out of the deal. And yeah, I will probably do a version of this, like a Skimmer Swabbie 2.0 with maybe some higher end pieces of equipment, just to kind of make it look a little bit more fancier. But other than that, I love it and it works out great. Now, if you guys like these types of videos, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up for this one. And if you guys want to support the channel or support me, definitely check out FishOfHex.com for coral sales, t-shirt sales, and services, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it, and peace.